What's going on, guys? We're live. Thank you for being here for episode 66 of The Scope. You'll notice that our wolf pack has shrunk by one. Blue couldn't make it this week, and we're deeply saddened. We're going to try to press on and do the best we can without him. It's gonna be... you need a tissue, Buff?
I think I do. I'm pretty upset, man. Honestly.
Yeah, we'll try to get through it. We'll try to keep the vibes up. It's going to be sad. But no, we have a good episode. We got a lot to talk about. Buff and I are probably going to have a knockdown drag out about DMZ. He's housing some sushi right now. I'm fixing to light the cigar. We're going to settle in and talk about video games. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. How are you doing? I'm jealous of the sushi, by the way, and I haven't had supper, so I'm
the post-workout glycogen replenishing going on right here. It was what we need. I just rolled in from the gym, got some sushi, got my protein shake over here too. So we're ready to go. We're gonna refill the glycogen storage. We're gonna talk about some hot topic DMZ stuff here, and you'll all probably be jealous of me and my sushi all the while. That's okay.
It's okay. I'll try to get through it. The podcast listeners don't have to worry about that, lucky enough. That's the big win of the week last week. We actually had our highest download week last week on the podcast, like almost 80 downloads, somewhere around 78 downloads or something like that. Over on the podcast app. So really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for doing that. That's really cool and surprising, to say the least. But greatly appreciate it. How have the games been? I saw you streaming some DMZ, having some connectivity issues, just absolutely loving the game right there. I caught you in a good moment.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was a couple beers deep there.
No,
just a few. It was like maybe one. Yeah, I mean, overall though, games were really good. You get those really bad connectivity issues here and there, and like some hackers here and there, but overall, games were really good yesterday. So I can't complain. That's
the main thing. Not all that can be said for XDefiant, but we'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into that a little bit as well. I actually made it to platinum in Rainbow Six again.
You're out of control, Crash, because that game is difficult.
I am a beacon of hope for all boomers out there that I'm a 36-year-old man that drinks bourbon and smokes cigars, and I made it to platinum in PC Rainbow Six Siege.
That's impressive.
It can be done.
That is impressive.
Don't give up on your dreams.
You always drop the boomer line, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But like, you're a beast search and destroy player, and you're especially like a gunfight 2v2 and Siege. So like, you and I have played gunfight. And I was past my prime when we were playing for the gunfight days, but you were carrying me pretty heavy. So, and I watch you play search a lot, so you definitely are far better than the average gamer, I would say.
It's aim lab. It's got to be the aim lab.
You know. So, don't give away your secrets, Crash. Come on.
I know. Sorry, it's aim lab and my Cronus. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're gonna talk about that too, because there's some cheaters that are crying out there. They are sad, and I love it. The only thing I love more than edgelord tears in Search and Destroy when I beat them is when cheaters are crying on forums that their cheats don't work anymore. That makes me really happy when that stuff doesn't work. No, I think if you watched my streams, you could tell I'm not cheating. I have some incredibly potatoey moments from time to time, but Siege has been really fun. I'm a little bit sad because I think with rank 2.0, it doesn't mean as much as it used to when you hit platinum in Siege anymore, which is a little bit of a bummer. I did hit it in ranked 1.0 a couple times, but it's cool to have the platinum trophy. Like how it is now, you lose way less elo when you lose and you gain more. So like if you just keep playing, you'll probably eventually
do good.
You start getting up to the higher ranks. Yeah,
that's good.
But it doesn't mean as much. But I've been playing well. I think I still have like a 1.2 KD this season in ranked, which is pretty good, in my opinion, in Siege. Because it's really hard. It's a really hard game, but I've been enjoying that.
It's a very hard game, but it's rewarding and fun. So,
yeah. And then I played a decent amount of Caliber the other day, and I think I'm going to play some more of that tonight. Have you been seeing that
Caliber
around Twitter?
Yeah, I used to play it maybe like a year or two ago. It was like right when Big Fry started covering it. I bought it and was playing it a lot. So yeah, it's a fun game. I'm glad it's having a little resurgence here right now.
Yeah, the reason it is World War III is because they got rid of their launcher and put it on Steam. So all the files and stuff are straight on Steam. So you can just straight up, and it's free to play now. So you can just hop on Steam, get it, play it. And it is third person. We're going to talk about it a little more because I think, man, it's worth giving it a try if that's your only hang up. Because I think the audience of this show would really like it. There's 68 operators and they're all milsim. Like they're all from different counter-terrorist groups, all realistic closed guns.
Looks amazing. Yeah, that's my favorite part about it. That's what drew me in is how realistic the operators and everything look, the weapons. Like it's definitely kind of like my wet dream, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was playing it. I didn't know that you had in the past, and I was playing it and I was like, dude, I bet Buff would love this game. And there's a lot to it and stuff, but we'll definitely get into that quite a bit more here in a little bit. But other than that, I think, yeah, I've been playing Caliber, Siege. I played a little bit of the Battlefield event. It's fun if you have a good teammate. I just have been having, I don't know if that game hates me, if I have PTSD for what the game kind of did to my YouTube channel. I don't know. I just didn't. The last time I played it, I was pretty upset, man. I got stuck in the map twice. There is something, if you enjoy Battlefield 2042, do not do what I did. There is a hit registration graph that you can put on your screen in the game HUD that shows how many times you shoot, how many times it counts on your screen, and then it also shows how many server hits. So you can actually see whenever it doesn't hit. And it's
Is
bad.
that fun to look at?
It's not. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. But yeah, like Teamer said, there is also a cheater that got exposed in Battlefield. I didn't have time. I'm kind of sad. I did everyone a disservice, but I didn't have time to look up all the stuff and get a good opinion on it. But there is Silk, a Battlefield creator, made a video about a suspected cheater, and it seems like on Twitter the general consensus is that this trash can is cheating and has cheated in the past in Battlefield 4. And even some of the devs came out and said, you know, that cheating is not allowed and stuff in Battlefield. Well, that's a first. That's a first because they haven't done anything about it in Battlefield 5 or 4.
Definitely not in 5.
They don't give a shit about the old games. I've seen a few rage hackers in 2042, but the cheating in Battlefield 5 is so depressing because, in my opinion, and a lot of times later in the seasons, even Battlefield 5 on Steam, at least, and I know all the caveats with Steam not being all the platforms, but on there'll be more people playing Battlefield 5. I think it's a better game for a multitude of reasons. But if you get in there on PC, there's going to be cheaters. And a lot of times there's cheaters that I'll report. I've even tweeted clips of blatant rage hackers that are level 500. I've tweeted it to devs and stuff, just in the community managers, and they don't say anything. And then a couple weeks later, I'll try the game again, and that same exact cheater will be there. Like they don't even have to do anything. Like they don't change their names or anything, and they're still just hacking. So
that's comforting. That's comforting. Gives me a lot of faith in the product going forward.
If I had been drinking, I would have had a Buff goes to jail on Twitter moment there. I would have let him have it because it's like it's like you act like you care about cheaters, but your old games that on certain platforms more people are playing, you do absolutely nothing. Like you could literally hire an intern that's in college to just play that game and just ban the super blatant ones, go across the servers. Sometimes in my region, there'll be, 10 or 15 servers or conquests going. Just go through and play them and look at the scoreboard. It's incredibly, incredibly obvious. Like it never even had an anti-cheat. And yeah, they don't make money on it. Hardly, I bet. I mean, the store's still open.
The cheating was bad in that when it was in its prime. I remember within that first year it was out, Level Cap would be making videos about how bad the cheaters were and nothing was being done. So not surprised that nothing's changed, to be honest.
And as far as I know, it has no anti-cheat like of any kind. They might look at stats and manual ban people, but it doesn't have like Punk Buster like the old ones had. It doesn't have Battle Eye. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have any automated cheat. Anti-cheat.
That's weird because Punk Buster used to be a mainstay in Battlefield back in the day. I mean, I always thought, even when I used to play on PC, like Battlefield 2, it in its prime, I mean, it worked really well. So I don't know what happened to Punk Buster or Battle Eye. Whatever they're using after Punk Buster, because I haven't seen Punk Buster around in a while.
Yeah, they went with easy anti-cheat in 2042, and I remember people. Well, we were excited about everything in the lead up to 2042, but with that one, people were really excited when easy anti-cheat was happening. So that helps.
How'd that work out?
I mean, there's not that many cheaters. The funniest part was when that game, when the game released, there was a few news stories put out from different. I can't remember which gaming article, people, places, journalism places it was from. You love my words. I'm so eloquent with the English language.
It was beautiful to hear, and I'm looking forward to more of it.
I hope we get some podcast awards for how good we do. Where was I? Who am I? And what's going on? What was I talking about?
No.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, guys.
I appreciate it. You're doing a great job. Your sushi looks amazing.
It does look good.
Cheaters. There was a news story that cheaters weren't a problem in 2042 because the game was so unpopular at launch that they weren't even making cheats for it. Remember that? Like, did you hear that? Yeah. So I thought, like, well, that's an awesome idea. The best anti-cheat is just to make a trash game that no one wants to play,
game.
and then you're good.
No, they figured it out
because no one was playing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think 2042 hates me, and I kind of feel the same way about it sometimes. I think overall where I'm at on it is, I think now where they've fixed a lot of the stuff, give them credit for that. It feels like a pretty good lobby shooter, like just a generic shooter. It feels pretty good. It just doesn't feel like a Battlefield to me still when I play it. And I start to maybe think it does, where they added the kind of pseudo class system. But then I go back and play Battlefield 5 and I'm like, yes, like here we are. Or Battlefield 1 even better. Like,
I mean, even when I look at gameplay, because I follow a lot of people on Twitter that still play it, I watch some videos on YouTube here and there. I mean, just watching it doesn't look like Battlefield, which is crazy. I mean, I could go back and play Battlefield 4 right now and just have the time of my life. That game, thankfully, it's still relatively popular on PlayStation. There's always been consistent servers that I have favorited there. That game looks and plays, in my mind, night and day compared to 2042. I mean, you jumped on board with Battlefield 1, and then obviously a big fan of 5. So like, those are your prime Battlefields. And for me, as we all know, is Battlefield 3. But Battlefield 4 does a really good job, and that's one of those games, like when 1 came out, I really enjoyed 1. And after a couple months, I got a little bored of like the time period. Jumped back into 4, and I was on Golmon Railway, and I was just, attack helicopters doing strafe runs, A-10s coming in, there's tanks, RPGs, there's SAM launchers. It was just like all out, just like you're in awe. Like this is just so much different than what we've had since. And I think that holds true right up to the current game, which is 2042. So they haven't been able to really replicate that same feeling yet, in my mind. Although they did a great job with the time period pieces of like Battlefield 1 especially. But man, the world needs a good Battlefield title again.
Yep. And I don't know, with my channel, I don't really want to sit around and wait for it because I like making videos too much. And I guess we're the intro, we can talk about YouTube a little bit. I don't know if anybody saw it. Not many did, but I started doing daily FPS news videos on my channel. Probably won't do them on Mondays since we do this show. But I just really enjoy making videos. So what I think I'm going to do for the foreseeable future and just kind of test it out. I've kind of flexed my work schedule to where I start a couple hours early in the morning and then get off a little earlier in the afternoon and crank out a video and I'm about stuff going on in the FPS world. I'm going to try to do that every day. So if you guys are interested, love for you to check it out. It's really killing my channel because how YouTube works is once you have an audience that you built, and most of mine was built with Battlefield 2042, when you put out a video, it tests your video on your normal audience. And if they like it and it's got a high click-through rate, they send it out to everybody else. Then it's good. But if your core audience isn't into it, it doesn't think it's a very good video, YouTube kind of just lets it sit and die. So that's what I'm running into. But I still am trying to make the best content I can. And I think the best thing for my channel would still be to try to cover news and play 2042 when I can stomach it. But I just wouldn't have fun and I wouldn't be as passionate about the content. But I just love making videos. I love talking about news. I love doing the show. And these are kind of short versions of that. So I'm going to try to make it interesting, cover stuff from like Twitter drama, the stuff that Buff and I are about to have, all the controversy, cheaters, and just everything going on with FPS news. Because I think there is enough to talk about. And I don't really want to tie myself to one game. It might kill my YouTube channel, but I'm going to do the best I can to make the coolest videos I can every day. So I think they look really clean. I got a whole new graphics package. It's called the Daily Reload. And I think it'd be cool if people made it part of their day. Just, meet on my channel in the evening. And if you guys are busy all day, see what's going on with FPS games. And I think it's good content and I'm doing the best I can with it and hope it works out.
Definitely.
That's my plug.
That's good stuff. And like I said before we went live, I was like off the grid till like yesterday afternoon. When I got home, I went right to a live stream. So I'm gonna go back and check out those videos for sure.
Yeah, I would love to know your opinion, everybody's opinion on them. Hit me up on Discord, Twitter, whatever. I would love to know what everybody thinks because I want to make them better. So I would love to. Yeah. All right.
Go check it out. Go check it out, guys.
You ready to fight me?
I'm ready. Bring it on, man. I'm always ready for
Is it okay? So I have to check with the creator. Buff, is it okay if I play the VOD of your stream while we talk about DMZ?
Yeah, if you're gonna pay me money for it. No.
Okay,
I'll
pay you everything I make from this podcast. You can have all of it. All right.
You don't need to ask me. Go for it.
Oh, it's got the audio too. We should leave that going.
Oh yeah, just don't get me on my beer rants.
I'll play it earlier in the stream. All right, so yeah, DMZ Pay To Win. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about this. Just to tell you guys what's going on. I'm sure most of you know. A lot of people here from Buff's channel. Probably a pretty big demographic of DMZ players. But what's going on is there are several bundles, just really quickly, that have DMZ bonus effects that you can buy in the store for however many COD points. Some of the blueprints have a quicker cooldown in your insurance slot. A lot of the players will give you another operator slot, so essentially increasing the size of your stash in a way. If you're using that op, they make their own character slot. And then they have bonus effects like 2-plate vests, UAV, self-res. I don't think the UAV ones and self-reses are out yet. They've been data mined. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. There's one more. Backpack, medium backpack. And you get those items if that slot is empty every single raid. So I think it's complete bullshit. It's not game breaking, but it pisses me off. And I think Buff might think it's okay. Well, where are you at? Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, so for this one, I understand it's a hot topic. Yeah, everyone's saying it's pay to win. Personally, I think I'm just gonna be straight. I think the people that saying it's pay to win are people that don't play DMZ or really have any skill whatsoever within that game mode. It's definitely,
I feel attacked.
it's pay for convenience is all it is. So, for example, that ghost bundle that came out yesterday, I bought it. I bought that backpack bundle too because the operator skins are dope. I'm a big fan of some good drip, and I had to go for it. So I got a medium backpack for my one slot. You unlock additional operator slots with those, and I got the backpack with one operator slot, and I got the 2-plate with another operator slot. So See right there, I'm getting paid. Thank you, Crash. Appreciate it.
Boom, you're welcome.
But the thing is, people, and this is where I have the issue with this, is people saying pay to win. I can only get that medium backpack, and I can only get that 2 plate carrier with that specific operator and that specific skin on one active operator slot. So it's not like every one of my operators has a 2 plate carrier or has a medium backpack. That's not how it works. It's only that one specific ghost operator skin on that one specific active operator slot will have that. You can't duplicate those operators, so I can only have one ghost operator for all my operator slots. And if I'm not using that specific skin, I don't get the 2 plate carrier. So
Good.
It's really not pay to win. It's pay for convenience. I think medium backpacks are cool. 2 plate carriers are cool. Is it going to make a difference in PvP? No, not at all. I can go in right now solo and give me 5 minutes. I'll have a 3 plate and at least a medium backpack, and I can easily get myself I can easily get a self-res and probably a UAV too. And another thing I think people aren't really keeping in mind here is the new barter system. So if you look at and study the barter trades, and you just go around and collect a bunch of bandages and batteries and stuff, you can trade in for that stuff. And if you know what you're doing and where to go, spots on the map, you can collect all this stuff so quickly. It's not an issue. Is it going to make a difference in PvP? Like I said, no. Now, is that going to change when the UAVs come? Self-reses? It'll potentially give those players a little bit of an advantage. But in my mind, the good players are going to be able to overcome that 99% of the time. Like with the teams that I play with, like Justin, Man Ain't Nobody, Striking, some of those people, Jug, people that pop in to our games, I think our PvP skills are so down that none of that stuff really matters. And a 2 plate carrier against a full team isn't going to make any difference. I think it's mainly right now, it seems like it's more so for solo players so they don't die to the AI right off the bat. Especially if you're a player that knows the spawns. We can go after squads with full 3 plate carriers. So I just don't believe it's pay to win. It's pay for convenience. However people may feel about that is its own thing, but it's definitely not pay to win because you can get all that stuff in game, and if you know what you're doing in the game mode, you can get it all very, very quickly too. So that's kind of where I'm at overall. But if you have like specific examples or things like that you want to run by me, I mean, I'm very open to it. So you may change my mind for certain situations for sure.
And I think we're a shining example of how people should have conversations on the internet, just to let you know, because you can keep it civil and you can have an open mind. So my side of it is, I think, first off, I agree with you. I don't think it's straight pay to win. I think in this case, that is more of a term for like a slight advantage in the game. And it is, I pay for convenience. I totally get. But it's also going to help you kind of get into the fight earlier and take a little bit of that looting time. So you're going to be maybe the first to objectives. You're going to be able to go look for PvP. You'll be a little earlier in overall raid time. And the other thing that I think is also difficult to define is like, what is a win in DMZ, right? Like it's hard to call it pay to win when it's like winning is kind of a loose term in that extraction-based game mode. So I get that too. The thing that it's just frustrating is on the surface, it's just a straight up money grab. Like it is. And that's, I mean, they're there to make money, but it's just an annoying way to make money for someone out on the outside looking in. And the only time I think you're going to see this being an issue is if the data mined ones, the most egregious one that I can think of in situation that would happen is if they do come out with that rose skin that's been data mined. It's not out yet, but it's in there. It comes with a UAV, and if you have a team of three people that play together a lot, they all buy that skin and they have 3 UAVs off the rip. Like on Ashika Island, where the UAV probably covers most of the whole map, so you can get, how long do UAVs last? 30 seconds, a minute, or
I'd say 30 seconds. Sounds about
I mean,
right.
so you could have 3 UAVs off rip every single raid and just stagger those and then know where people are spawning right away. And in the grand scheme of things, those people aren't going to be ready because they're traditionally going to loot for a little bit, usually, unless you know your operator's already. But I see the worst thing being if 3 people play together a lot, buy the skin, and have 3 UAVs that they can stagger off the rip. Like that's a lot. The self-res, again, I think these are really only going to be annoying early game because, like you said, you're not going to know if someone has these unless you kill them early and they like self-revive, and then you see it's and kill you, and then you see it's that skin. That's going to piss you off. It's like, oh, they paid for that. But you know they could have brought it in anyway. It's going to be it's not really. I think it's just going to cause a lot of frustration and negative feelings. It's not going to break the game. It's not as. And then my other source of negative feelings towards that is Blizzard has done some incredibly nasty pay to win stuff in some of like their Diablo games and things like that, like really predatory stuff. And this could potentially be seen, in my opinion, as maybe a step towards that. Like where do they stop with it? You know. Like, because they're gonna make a shitload of money on these because everybody's talking about them, and then the people I saw someone from your chat say it's for the people that can't play all the time, right, and have this stuff built up in their stash. So right. I get that because I'm someone that I get my hour and a half, 2 hours in the evening to play a game. So I totally get that. I just think from Activision Blizzard, they see how much money they're going to make, and I don't think they're going to stop. And I think those bonuses are going to get more and more and more severe. They're going to make more money. I hope I'm wrong. As of now, they're not game breaking. I think an argument could be made with the UAV one if they do end up releasing it. But yeah, the rest of them are just really annoying.
Yeah, I think with the UAV one, it definitely. I mean, yeah, there's no. You're not. I can't argue with that. It's definitely going to give you an advantage for sure. But there's no doubt about it. So I mean, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Coming in right off the rip, I guess the only way to counter that. I mean, I'm agreeing with you with that 100%. The only way to counter that, I'm saying, is like. From my end, if we spawned in and someone popped a UAV, we're going to go into a defensive position right away and kind of fortify ourselves typically because I think personally experience the PvP and know how to approach a lot of those situations. So how one player reacts to something like that is going to be different than maybe someone that's like oblivious to what's going on with the PvP and things like that. And when with the self-revive one, Man and Nobody in chat had a really good point there. I mean, yeah, coming in with a self-revive definitely helps you out. I would also argue, I think a lot of players do come in with a self-revive because they have them left over from previous raids usually. I mean, 99%, not 99, probably like 70 to 80% of the time I have at least a UAV and or a self-revive gun on me. But Man, nobody in chat said like any hospital has mad self-revive. So again, that really goes down to knowing the map and having experience within the game mode of DMZ, and you'll know where to find self-reses. I can go into a hospital and typically find 4 to 5 self-res mixes of like self-revive kits and the revive guns in any hospital, and those are scattered all over the map. And then, like I said, with the new barter system. But another thing I noticed that they made a change. I'm not sure if it's going to be permanent because we can talk about all of this. Yesterday, this seems to have been done on purpose. Is when Building 21 launched this weekend, you can spawn in with nothing, okay? And when that countdown finishes, it gave you a free 3-plate carrier, a free large backpack, a free self-revive, and a free 5 attachment vector, just by going into Building 21. So what did we do? We took one of our active soldier slots that we didn't have anything with, went into Building 21, got our 3-plate carrier, got our large backpack, got our self-res, got our vector, and we camped out in the stairwell till an extract became available, and then we got the hell out of there, and we were fully kitted up, good to go. So definitely pay for it. I mean, it's
that
pay for
one's
convenience.
free though for everybody, right? Anybody could do that.
Yes, if you're playing Building 21 as of this previous,
Was it? Yeah,
yes.
is that intentional? That seems weird.
I think it's intentional because it's such a hard map, and you really can't go in there without a 3-plate carrier and a self-res. So otherwise, typically you're going to die unless again you're an experienced player who has like keys for rooms and knows where to go and knows the map. You really need that to get in there. So that's something like you could take advantage of. But yeah, I mean, it's pay for convenience. I think the UAV thing is definitely going to be could cause some problems, but we'll have to see if they do come out with it like that. If there's a cooldown time, so if I die with that character, can I just like, okay, I'm going to go right back in with a self res? Can only one of your characters spawn in as that operator with that UAV? We'll have to see what they do. I mean, data mined is one thing, but I wouldn't say we can say with 100% accuracy that that's what it's going to be, but I'm curious to see. I definitely don't like the sound of that UAV one.
The Ghost one was data mined and it came out like they thought with the tempered vest.
with the two plate carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it had the 2-plate carrier.
It's in there. It's just gonna see if maybe Activision will walk it back when they see like a lot of people's opinions of it. I don't know, but it's gonna make a lot of money for them. We're gonna have to wait and see when it comes out and how it operates and things like that, and then if it changes the gameplay in any way. It's tough, man, because DMZ, like, you run into teams that know what they're doing, and there's just other players that are just completely oblivious. Like I ran a solo the night of this stream here later on Twitch, and just like easily killed the whole 3-man. So with the 20 round RM277. So there's a lot of things you can overcome being a skilled PvP player, I feel like, in this mode. But especially the other thing to keep in mind is the ghost vest. So like the ghost vest, right? If I'm somebody, if you're somebody that has that UAV in their whole team or whatever, what if my whole team has ghost vests? I can barter trade for that, I believe. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. Then no one will show up on it. So you could just use those and push teams if you know the spawns, no matter what. Yeah, true. I think so overall
there's a lot of counters, I think, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you with that one for sure.
Yeah, but I don't want it to start to be counters where like, oh, everybody's buying this skin, so I got to buy this skin to counter their skin that they bought, and then they'll buy skin. It's just a buy skin. Instead of playing the game or choosing an operator in the game that everyone has access to, they're having to buy skins to compete, and that's where we're not wanting to get to. Like, if you have to buy a skin, like if you have to buy a skin to feel competitive, but I think as it's now, 99% of the time you're not going to notice it. It's just from the outside. It's annoying. To me, it's annoying as fuck that's how they're going to make money instead of giving us content like maps and stuff for premium. Like, I would rather spend money on that than have pay for convenience skins. Like, it's just a microcosm or just a shining example of how shitty game revenue is for AAA shooters anymore. Like, that's where we're at, right? Instead of giving us content for everybody, or giving us the option to buy content. Like,
yeah,
it's annoying.
I agree with that. I do. Yeah,
but I get what you're saying. I feel like you're not going to notice it most of the time. The vast majority of your raids are not going to notice with it, and they're going to get. And then for someone like me that thinks it's shitty, they're going to get away with it because people are going to keep playing because they're not going to notice it. I just think there could be extreme examples of, like, just taking, for example, that potential you have one. If you get rolled up on in like the first 30 seconds of a raid and killed through a wall, or people, pre-firing you because they know where you are because of you have, and then you see in the kill cam, it's all that skin, you're going to be like, that's going to piss you off. But it's going to take an extreme case like that for you to even notice it. So I don't think it's going to affect a lot of people's gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and I think the only way I would notice it is if it's like UAV, enemy UAV, enemy UAV, enemy UAV, like right off the bat.
And then you get killed by that rose skin. You're like, wow.
Yeah, then you'll see me pretty happy. But I think the other like the counter to that though is also like that team will push you if they have the UAV, but you should still know they're coming or close, because if you're smart, you'll leave the area or get to a fortified position and not kill any of the AI and let the AI give away that team's position when they push in. And then you take advantage of that, right? So I mean, there's a lot of like IQ type plays to counter a lot of this, I feel. But yeah, I mean, that will clearly give other players an advantage for sure. It's just how do you as a player counter those situations? And that's something, like you said, you'll never know the other team has that bundle unless you see the skin and happen to know off right away that that's what it is. But at that point, it's going to be too late usually. So you need to just keep in mind like player tactics in the beginning. So definitely gives you an advantage. It's convenient, but is it game breaking? I would say no. I mean, I think a lot of us who play it, we know all the spawns, so I can spawn in and push a team right away. Plus, with like the spotter scope, I can see you coming from across the map anyways. So it's not like we're getting snuck up on in any time. That spotter scope, you can see anybody on the map if they're in line of sight, no matter where they are.
I noticed you using that a lot. That was interesting.
Yeah. No one, you can clearly identify a player from an AI, and I can see you anywhere on the map, even if it's like on the other side of the map. If I have clear line of sight, you will come up on the thermal and I will know you're a player. Even sometimes it'll spot you through objects. Like if there's trees in the way or something like that, it'll automatically spot you and I'll know there's 3 players on the train behind this tree that I can't even see right now. So
that's pretty crazy.
There's definitely counters to it. But yeah, I understand it's very clickbaity for people to say it's pay to win. It's, in my opinion, pay for convenience. Can it get annoying? 100%. I think there will be some annoyances to it. Yeah, it is what it is. Like you said, the name of the game is making money, so they're gonna do it. And I guarantee you, those bundles so far have sold a lot, and that Rose one's gonna sell a lot too.
Yeah, I think it's pay to win in like maybe my traditional sense of the term. To me, pay to win doesn't mean if you buy it, you're automatically going to win. I just feel like it's pay for an advantage. And that's kind of the traditional definition of pay to win. Because a lot of those actual pay to win games, like they did with that mobile Diablo game where people were dropping thousands of dollars for gems to make their character super strong. They could still technically get beat. They could still technically get beat by a like a non-paying player, like a free-to-play grinder, but it wasn't likely. So that's where I'm at. It's not there yet, but it's like a gateway drug for Blizzard or for Activision. I feel like that when they see how much money they're going to make, and there could be more of that. And that's just going to be, I hope. So the battle pass, and then every time I'm also sick of every single season there's a new battle pass. The weapons on the battle pass are really, really strong. And then after that's over, the next season they nerf those like almost every time because they want people to buy the battle pass or buy tier skips to get it quicker. They're free, but they want people. And I'm tired of all these little algorithm meta bullshit things to squeeze money out of you. And people are going to do it and keep doing it. And I'm just a grumpy old man sitting on my porch, get off my lawn. Like I'm just sick of seeing that stuff, man. But it's going to keep going.
Yeah. It's definitely annoying for sure. I mean, for me though, and again, I feel like I'm an exception to this. If the operator skin or like the weapon blueprint is cool and it's, what my personal preference, I'm going to buy it no matter what, even if there's not, whether there's a DMZ advantage or whatever. I'm mainly looking like if that ghost bundle, for example, or the first bundle that came out with the backpack, if those operators look stupid, like if they were the Fox EDM operators, I wouldn't have bought it. Yeah, and I'm definitely not buying the UAV one because I don't like that rose skin or anything. So that's me. That's just me though, right?
And that's how I wish it would stay.
People aren't going to be like that.
That's how I wish it would stay, and that's how it was for a long time. I was always like, man, those skins are expensive. Like I'm not buying that. But like if you're keeping your microtransactions as cosmetic only, how can you have a problem with that? Unless it was like the rose skin in Warzone 1 where you couldn't see it inside buildings. But like traditionally, in the sense of how it's supposed to work, if your cosmetics or if your microtransactions post launch is just cosmetics only, how can anyone have a problem with that? But now we're starting to get
Right.
away from that with these DMZ bonuses. And is it going to continue to be UAVs? Is it going to start to be a multiplayer bonus? Like start with your perks a little faster than everybody else? Like, is it going to keep going into this shittier part of, you know, pay for an advantage? And I hope not. It could. We'll just watch it. Like, it doesn't break the game now. It just pisses me off. There you are.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I don't think anybody has common ground. I don't think anybody has a problem, or they shouldn't, with cosmetics. I mean, I don't care if the skins are $50. If people want to buy them, and it's your money.
If it's good, it's good, man. If they came out with a like awesome sick Navy SEAL skin tomorrow and it was $50 and it was something I liked, I'd buy it.
What if they had skins like Caliber?
I would be pretty broke currently.
What do you think of that segue?
Boom! Wow.
Yeah.
That was good. That was nice.
No, I think we covered that. I get what you're saying, because at the end of the day, people like me are bitching about it, but when you play the game, you probably won't notice. But I'm still mad. So
yeah,
let me be mad.
I'll let you be mad.
All right, good. The next game I wanted to talk about is Caliber, and I didn't know much about this game. And guys, I look forward to your emails and complaints. This is a first-person podcast, so we're going to talk about a third-person game. And I hope that you'll hear me out on this, because I, like potentially many of you, was a third-person hater. You know, the whole standoff, peeking, seeing around corners, and all that stuff. But I took a few hours with this game. Once you guys see this game, based on what I hear a lot in the comments and stuff from our audience, everything about it, I feel like, is something that you guys would like. There are 68 operators. They're all mil-sim. Like, they're all realistic from counter-terrorist groups across the globe. All the weapons are like accurate models and everything like that. And there's no goofy stuff in this thing. And it has a round-based bomb mode. It has PvE, PvP. There's like different missions and stuff like that. And the reason we're talking about it now, it's been out for a little while, but it came to Steam, and you can download it for free on Steam and play it. There's no more launcher. So it had a really shitty launcher. That is gone now, and it's all on Steam. So this game was a little bit pay to win. There were operators that you could buy that were really strong, battle pass operators and stuff that I still don't think you can get, but they're working on changing that. But they changed the economy to where you can earn this stuff. And this game just has a super, super, super cool vibe to it. Like, really, really immersive. There are weird things. So you're gonna see that third person aim, peep around corners. There's a whole. It's not hardcore by any means. It's very arcadey. You have a lot of information on your HUD. The operators have abilities and stuff. Way more grounded than Siege, however. But it's really easy to get immersed in because of the maps, because of the operators, how they look, their backstories, and the comms and stuff like that. It's very, very grounded in all that stuff. And I would essentially, I don't know if you guys remember Rogue Company, but it was more on the spectrum. It was a little more Fortnite-y, with the vibe and the aesthetics and graphics and stuff. This is, like, in my opinion, like Rogue Company for adults. So it's a super cool game. It's got a really fun bomb mode called, it's not really a bomb mode, but it's a one life mode called Showdown. And I could see myself playing the shit out of this. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you can work on progression wise. So you can unlock the ops, and then you earn credits, and you can level them up and help them out. You play as a class. So everyone has, let's see, a marksman, a healer, so a marksman, a medic, assault, and support. And each person plays one of those, and it's 4v4, no respawn. And it's a little bit like Gunfight, where it starts out as just a free-for-all. And then you have, if the timer runs out, there's a midpoint that spawns that you have to take the flag. But most people are dead by then, in my experience. But it's just a really, really cool game. And I would say my recommendation as someone who was in this boat if the third person aspect of it is the only thing holding you back, give it a try and keep in mind that you just have to play it differently, because you can use that to your advantage. They can use it to your advantage. And some of the things I realized is it's more about positioning, and you can also make plays on other players that are relying on third person. So what I was doing a lot of times, and the maps are designed fairly decent for this, is like, so if you would peek somebody and they would peek you, and then you'd both get back to a corner and you'd be waiting for each other to peek, you know, because you can see around corners a little bit, and you're sitting there waiting. I would use that to back off so they couldn't see me, reposition, and then peek them where they weren't ready. You have to play different than you do first person shooter, and just keep that in mind and give yourself a chance to pick that up. And I was having fun, and I was really learning how to play it differently with angles. I could figure out, you know, third person wise, if I had two threats in front of me, I could find a position where I could only see one of them and take it one at a time. And then then I could tell that other person was holding that ready to expect me to peek again. I would back off, rotate, flank, and like there's a lot of tactics you can use in this game that's different than first person. And I mean, the progression is slow. There's a lot of stuff to unlock. It's different than Siege. I feel like in Siege, with all the operators, there is a chance that you can get them all unlocked. I don't think you're ever going to get them all unlocked. The key is, I think, to find one. And there's a couple modes where you can try them all against bots and stuff. Find one you like, work on unlocking that one, you know, kind of have your role and level them up. But dude, I've been having a lot of fun. I know people haven't heard about Caliber in a long time, but it's worth checking out again. Their player, they have servers now in NA, so there's servers here now, and there's also it's also on Steam, so they got rid of that launcher, which is huge, and there's been more and more people playing it every day, and it's kind of making like a little comeback having it like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see, excuse me, you can see the operators, like how cool they look. Like you said, it's all Nielsen from many different countries. Like how amazing those operators look is just, that's what I need in my life, man. It looks beautiful. And definitely the third person, I mean, I don't know if you ever played old school SOCOM at all, Crash, but it definitely brings me back to I mean, this is what Big Fry used to say too with this game, is like, I used to play a lot of SOCOM 3 and like the clan games and stuff back in the day when it was in its peak. It definitely, when I jumped back into this, it was, I think, like my first competitive style third person shooter since SOCOM 3. So a lot of fun for sure. I really enjoyed it. I haven't played it in about a year and a half probably, but I'll probably have to jump back in. It's a lot of fun.
And the other thing too, I think people on Steam are really liking it. It's up to mostly positive reviews now, so it's getting a lot of positive reviews, and I'm gonna put some more time into it. It's kind of it's a really cool change of pace, and it definitely, after I got shit on the first couple games, I just started to realize and think, you know, you have to play it differently. But I don't know. I used to be a FPS purist where I could, you know, I would say that it's just so cheesy to have third person, but I think it can be pretty competitive, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's fun. It's really fun.
You just really have to play it different. Now, in my opinion, my perfect game would probably be a first person version of this game. Like, I love everything about it, except I'm not as hype on the third person, but I'm giving it a chance, and I had a positive experience the first evening I played it. So, and that's what it took to get me to try third person. I'm like, I love every single thing about this game except the third person, so I'll give it a try. And now I'm the wheels are turning up here. There's smoke coming out of my ears. It's not just from this cigar. Like I'm thinking, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and I think I could have a lot of fun on this game. And for some reason, as someone who plays a lot of competitive type modes and games, it doesn't feel as competitive to me in third person. That could be kind of a shitty thing to say, but it's kind of fun to relax on, and you still get some tension in those one life modes and those round based modes and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I was really pleasantly surprised, and it's the first game in a minute that I'm really excited to play more of.
Yeah, like it's a really fun game. I only played a couple of the modes, so I'm not sure like what kind of competitive style modes they do have. I know they have a few, but I mean, this is the kind of game I can just goof around and look at the operators, and I don't even need to play it. Just let me look at the operators and the guns, and just kind of like goof around in the menus there. And I'll just be in my glory.
It looks really good. I want to play. I want to play some more of this. Spoo, get this downloaded, man. Get it going.
That also kind of like begs the question to me is like, I mean, look at the character modeling that they do here is just so good, right? I mean, it's crazy from what I can tell right now, especially just the what you're playing on the stream here. It's just doing the quick run through of all the operators there, that little quick peek that everyone can see. I mean, no other game that I can think of on the top of my head has this type of attention to detail with like real world operators ever. I mean, unless I'm wrong, but like this is, right available to you. This is it's they're doing something that no other game is doing in my mind. Somebody, if I'm wrong, somebody throw it in the chat. But this is, I think they found a nice little niche, right? The third person competitive style shooter, and they're catering to, like you said, the adults who are into this type of stuff, and clearly there's an audience for that. So good for them. They found their own little niche there in the gaming industry, which you don't see many companies or titles take advantage of too often. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and I think there's a case to be made there for, like you said, they found a niche, and potentially if this was first person, it might not have the following that it does. Maybe people would say, "Oh, just play Siege or just play Search and Destroy." So the mode that I like is the Showdown mode, and they're quick to get into because it's the first of 3 rounds, and they're pretty quick rounds. But essentially, I would say think 4v4 gunfight. So it starts out just TDM, like, and you kind of push each other and try to get kills. And then I can't remember how long the timer is, but once the timer runs out, there's 3 possible positions that a flag will spawn, and then you have to take the flag. So that's how, if you haven't sorted out your business by the time the clock runs out, then you got to go take an objective and either take the objective or kill the other team trying to get to the objective. So that's my favorite mode. But there's a lot of modes. There's different missions that you run that have kind of stories to them, like PvE stuff. And there's a couple different PvP modes. There is also a ranked. It's really hard to get into the ranked mode, though. I'm worried about the kind of players in there because you have to unlock.
The game's been around a while too, so
yeah, and you have to get to a pretty high level, and you also have to have, because there's a pick and ban system in there now, like Siege, where you can ban operators. So to play it, you have to have at least 2 operators on each class unlocked. So
right,
and that takes a while. I got 1 operator done when I did the prologue mission. I picked an assault operator, and I played. Oh, there's a lot of challenges in there now too. There's like Steam events and different challenges and stuff you can do to get the in-game currency. I played probably 4 hours the other night, and I just now got enough currency to unlock another operator. But then once you unlock those, you use currency on like a skill tree to like level them up. So yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I'm gonna put some more time into it. And I get that third person is different, but where it's at right now, if that's the only thing holding you back is that it's third person, just fucking try it, man. It's free. Like,
you get used to it quick. You get used to it really quick.
You learn quick, like what not to do, like
right.
Because you do have to play it different, but I'm actually enjoying that process of learning a different play style and like how to use the third person, because I really think a lot of players, like I'm telling you, once you have that first peek and you kind of know where each other are and you just have that standoff, a lot of people will hold that for a really long time, and you can use your angles and back off that where they can't see you and move and just destroy them while they're standing there. Like, yeah. So I've made a lot of plays like that and then you feel like, yeah, I'm smarter than you. Like it makes you feel good too. So it's cool, man.
And the good thing is you get to look, because it's third person, you get to look at your really cool drip of your operator the whole time, and the gun, like the backpacks, it looks amazing. So that's the other plus side of third person. I know you and I kind of go back and forth around like operator skins in first person, but here you get to see it. So I mean, it's worth it.
That's one of the things like I've thought it's kind of silly, and I've said this on the show before. It's kind of silly to spend a lot of money on a skin unless it's a cowboy hat. To spend a lot of money on a skin that you can't see. Well, in this one, you can see him.
You can see it.
There's different.
Yeah.
Most of the time, what they did with cosmetics is really cool too. The operators have the same clothes, but you can unlock cosmetics that change the color, like the camo color. So you could mix and match camo style colors, which is cool because all the ops have their abilities and different gadgets and stuff. So there's still that readability. Like you can tell once you have experience, you can tell like, oh, this is this operator, because they kind of have the same clothes, the same shape. But but you can still have some identity by changing the colors of this clothes. Like
You're right, exactly. You have different color schemas for everything, which exactly you can definitely make it customize it a little bit too, which is great.
Teddy, try to ask us that at the end. I would love to talk about that at the end if we have time about Tarkov. But anyway, I wanted to make a little plug for Caliber because it's fun and you guys should try it. It doesn't cost anything to try it.
Yeah, it's free, definitely. I mean, and it's not, you don't need like high-end PC to run this either. So I mean,
no, because the graphics are a little bit dated, but that's exactly like you're alluding to, Buff. That means you can run it on an older machine. You don't have to have a badass machine to run it. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yep.
All right then. Yeah. I'll probably keep talking more about Caliber on here. I potentially might, if Buff and Blue are down for it, I might try to reach out to the community manager and have him come talk about the game too a little bit with us on here. Would be pretty sweet. Yeah. I think he would be maybe open to it. I hope so. I might ask him because it's pretty neat. I would love for you to play it, Buff. I think you'd have fun.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't played it in like a year and a half, so I got to go back and get back into it a little bit. Would be fun, especially now that it's over on Steam. It's easier to play instead of launching from the client that they had, which is a pain.
And you're probably playing on like EU or Russian servers too, and now you get
that was the other problem.
And I also, I can't confirm or deny this. This would be a question for the community manager. I was just curious, so I pulled up my NetDoom router, which tells me like where the server is and some stuff about the server, and it said it was a 60 hertz tick rate server. So that's really good for a free to play first person shooter game. So
yeah, that is very good. Yeah.
So if that's the case, that's something that should be applauded too. The hit reg felt good. Like I didn't notice it very often. Like having any kind of problem.
Better than Battlefield is what you're saying, right?
Dude, I could shoot a rubber band across my house and have better fucking hit reg than 2042, dude. Like, yeah, quite a bit better. And you can. What's really funny is 2042 lets you prove that by putting the hit reg graph on the screen. It's so crazy.
They did it to themselves.
Like, it's like we have really terrible netcode. Check it out. They'll show you if you want to look at it. It's pretty wild. So yeah, let's keep moving on here. I think I have a few quick shots. I'll have to look them up. So it might take the production team a minute. Buff can stall, talk about sushi or something.
Yeah, right. I love sushi.
Yeah,
you just sent it my way.
What kind of sushi did you have just now?
I got a variety pack because they were like out of. Typically, when I'm like at the store, I like to go just with like California rolls or something like that. They were out, so I got like one of those big like $20 varieties of like Californias and like rainbow roll and stuff like that. So
it sounds so good.
Oh, it was.
We didn't have sushi for a long time in my house. It's one of my favorite things because my wife couldn't have it when she was pregnant, and then after we had him, we just ordered like $120 worth of sushi and brought it home, and just crazy. Dude, so good. So like quick off topic story, but for sushi, I was at a sushi restaurant like back in 2015. I mean with like bodybuilding and stuff like that, like I'll go and do like refeeds now and then. So I ordered in total like pieces of sushi rolls. I think it was like 87 or maybe it was just like an even 90 is what the count was for actual rolls. And that's I like ordered that, and like there was a couple there that like, wait, did you just order like 7 orders of sushi rolls? I was like, yeah. They're like,
They were getting ready to leave, and they ended up just like staying to see the amount of food that I got. They're like, "Are you gonna eat all that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like taking photos. So, like, that's crazy.
That's, dude, I can eat so much sushi, but I will say, when you do eat it and you do hit that wall, it's like a little bit different than other foods. Like when you hit the sushi wall, you are done.
You're done.
It's not like eating a big cheeseburger and fries where you're getting full. It's like, oh, I can fit a few more fries in. It's like, when you hit the limit of raw fish, that's it. Like, you're done. I feel like it's a hard stop, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I think we need to talk about XDefiant a little bit. I don't know if you've kept up on this. I've played it a little bit. This has some industry-wide implications, in my opinion. And even if you're not into the game, I know a lot of folks from Buff's channel aren't really into the silly cosmetics, as we were talking about. Check out Caliber, by the way. This is interesting because it's kind of a hero shooter Call of Duty clone. But the Call of Duties that it's copying are the older ones. So it's getting a lot of things from the older Call of Duties. I would say, from my opinion, I played a few matches once I could finally get in. That's another thing I want to talk about, is their decision to move forward with this beta, even though they had pretty trashy netcode. And it was noted before it even started. It was kind of like a Battlefield. Hey, it's a really old build. We know it's shitty, so here you go anyway. It was kind of one of those moves, which I have questions about. But it feels a lot like Black Ops 4. It feels like older Call of Duties, and I know that's not that old a Call of Duty. I say that because of the hero mechanics. I would think if you stripped all that away, it's gonna feel more like even earlier ones. Maybe even like a Ghost kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as like the movement, the feel of it, the recoil and stuff like that.
I can see that.
So man, yeah, I don't know. It's all right, and I think a lot of there's two extremes that I see all over Twitter, and that could be just because the Twitter algorithm pushes extreme takes a lot. So that's what I see. I see a lot of people saying that this is a COD killer, this is over, this is what everybody's going to be playing, and then I see people saying this is trash, it's going to die like Hyperscape, and I feel like it's in the middle. I really think Big Fry's tweet said it the best. I think there's a group of potentially maybe older gamers, not even older, but longtime Call of Duty players that are disenfranchised from the title from decisions they've made over the last several games, that this could find a player base just based on the hatred for Call of Duty right now from a lot of people. And it could have a small player base from that. And that's kind of where I think it's going to end up being. I don't know why. Like, I feel like Mark Rubin answers everybody on Twitter except me.
Just not you, huh?
Because, dude, they were talking about modes again, and somebody said, like, Rainbow Six is still around. This game is going to be around for a long time. And Mark Rubin said, exactly. And I said, but Rainbow Six is a round-based one life mode, as is popular games you might have heard of, like CSGO and Valorant. Like, all the multiplayer shooter large games have these competitive modes. Please add one. I hope the team is looking into that. Nothing. And I think, because that, for me, it's like, dude, I'm over it. Like, and Shroud said this exact thing. I saw this on a tweet too. Shroud said this exact thing, and I'm like, put it on a t-shirt. He said, I'm really tired of the spawn in, get a couple kills, die. Spawn in, get a couple kills, die. Spawn in, and it's just over and over. And these objective modes are similar to like Overwatch. Is like a payload mode. I don't know if you remember the payload game mode. It was in like Black Ops 3 and a couple of the later CODs where you're next to the payload and it moves. It's like an escort mode. That's the main. Oh, you don't remember that? It was in.
Nope.
I don't remember if they had one. They had one. I know they had it a lot in Black Ops 3, and I think your favorite game, Infinite Warfare. So you should have played it a lot in Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, those are two games I've sunk a lot of hours into.
Yeah, I know you did. It's over there with your Fortnite channel. I know that.
Yeah.
But you can find the archives on there. But yeah, so essentially it's like Overwatch, where there's a payload that has a set route, and when you're standing close to it, it moves, and the other team's trying to kill you and keep you from moving it. And with those types of game modes where you don't have like a team, it's like you just have to like you just like have to run at it. It's like a meat grinder. Like, you know, you're gonna die. You just take a couple with you. Then you spawn, and then you run across the map and you do it again. Then you spawn and you run across the map and you do it again. And you spawn and run across the map. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
right.
it just doesn't hit with me, man. And the other thing that my biggest question was, and I want your take on this, is so before it went live, and this thing was marred with connection issues. I couldn't even play it the first 2 days. Like, I couldn't log in. It wouldn't let me log in because their servers were messed up, which is a whole nother fucking thing that pisses me off. So, because I don't understand how you can have login issues with a closed beta where you have an exact number to be expected. They said they didn't have enough server capacity. That's why it's a closed beta, so you know exactly how many players are going to be there. Like, you should know within a few thousand of like where you're going to be at and how many servers you're going to need. So that's why it's closed and not an open beta. You know how many people you're going to have. So I don't get that. The other thing is the netcode is really bad. So even when you do get in a match, there is a lot of desync. I was dying like 3 business days behind cover, like a long time, like behind cover, and then die. There's a lot of desync. He said before it went live that netcode was a big problem in the last beta, and they're working on it. It just didn't make it into the new build. In your opinion, should they have waited to have this beta until that new netcode fix was in the main build?
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I guess what was the, you know, I think the only they can answer that question is like, what was their goal of the beta? Was it, what were they trying to get out of that? Was it introduce players to the game, have a good experience? In which case, yes. Otherwise, if it was a beta for like collecting back end data or something. But I mean, regardless, I feel like you still want the player base to have the best overall experience, right? So probably should have waited then.
I think so, because this is a very smoky cigar. That's what they're for, right?
It is.
This game has already had to make a comeback based on revealing this as a skater punk Tom Clancy title. They're already starting from like digging out of a hole that they created. And then it's like, now you're having, and this is, keep in mind, the other caveat to this decision is that this game is the first one that's not under NDA that you're going to see widespread gameplay from.
Yeah.
So like all the gameplay that's not under NDA now that you're showing has this known netcode problem. So I feel like that's another, albeit a lot smaller, that's another hole you're putting yourself in, to have the first impression be this first person shooter with shitty shooting.
Yeah, it's not a good first impression. I mean, because then, I mean, first impressions are huge, right? So you're right. Why would you want? Because now that's going to be the talk, is the game sucks. When
and
they just needed to probably wait a little bit and do a patch.
It's just with the modes, and I think and I wish there would be a competitor to Call of Duty, but I don't think this is going to do it, because even though they're trying to cash in on some of that nostalgia and bring some of the mechanics that Call of Duty players liked, like there's some cool stuff here, like no skill-based matchmaking, lobbies, you know, sticking together. There's no skill-based matchmaking in the casual modes. Incredibly light. There's some other things that they brought back to be like the older Call of Duties. I can't remember all the things, but Mark Rubin has said all the right things. So it has that. It's just frustrating that you get it that far, but don't take it across the finish line by making good decisions about releasing gameplay and stuff. It's just frustrating.
Especially
I wish
with how like vocal he's been. He's always been. It seems like he's been saying all the right things. So yeah, that's a good point.
And then you handicap it with terrible netcode, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like they kind of like shot themselves in the foot there, huh?
And then from like a wide top down view, the other thing that's cool is there's a shitload of maps. I love that.
That is good.
But the other thing from a top down view is like they're trying to be like the older Call of Duties, but that means there's nothing unique about this game. It feels really played out. And that would be okay if it was executed incredibly well. If that was executed really well, I could see it having its own merit. But I think I have to agree with Big Fry that the audience and people that are going to play this game are people that are really tired of Call of Duty. And
I
this is
I
like
agree with that too. I was just thinking the same thing as you were saying that, because we're watching the gameplay here in the background. It looks just like you said in the beginning, like one of those faster moving, older Call of Duties. So I mean, it should. And I know they consulted like some like Exclusive Ace and some other like Call of Duty
Aches has
content
been big
creators.
into it.
Yeah. So I think that tweet that Big Fry said is almost like 100% exactly what this game. That's probably their target. That's probably their target audience. I mean, look at everyone complaining on Twitter about it. They just want fast, twitchy movements again. So this should be just for them then, right? So maybe that's the player base that they're targeting all along. But
Yep.
they probably should, you don't want to have a bad first experience for those players that you're trying to bring on. So.
Yep. So I think it's just kind of be. I think it's just going to kind of be like an overall middling game. I think it's going to have a few thousand people that play it. It's not going to take over Call of Duty by any means, because it's trying to do Call of Duty like not better than Call of Duty.
Right.
They could have played off those older mechanics and took mechanics from older games that are inherently better and made it better, but they just didn't. And
yeah,
I think not having a competitive, like a one life mode, is such a bummer, because I think the novelty of just having a respawn first person shooter arena generic game is over. Like, you got to do something different these days.
No, I agree, and it's weird to me that they don't have like a lot of the games you would think, specifically this one. I'm surprised they haven't like touted their own what makes them unique, right? I'm surprised they haven't started, or maybe this is coming with part of the marketing strategy going forward, but they haven't like touted this is what makes this game better than whatever. This is our unique mode. This is our unique thing. I not that I've been following it very closely, but that's not something I've seen yet. And if that's out there, then I'm wrong. But to your point, with like a competitive round-based mode, if that's something they had, you would think they would be advertising it pretty heavily. Is like XDefiant does round-based modes better than anybody because blah blah blah. You know.
Yep. So that's what I think. I think it's definitely causing waves, because there's a lot of people talking about it, but I think the modes are really holding it back and going to continue, because they're so played out. Those modes are so played out.
Agreed. Yeah,
that's my personal opinion, though. People might like them still.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I mean, personally, I'm in the same boat as you. I really, you know, the multiplayer for like COD, I don't really enjoy because specifically that reason. It's just spawn, get a few kills, run around, die, blah blah blah. It can be fun, like those new night maps I was having a blast with, but I'm not. I agree with you and to Stroud's tweet. Just for those of us that kind of like grew up doing that, I typically always want some sort of objective or goal, not just like run around and die type thing.
Yep. And he also said, what else did he? Mark Rubin said on Twitter, like they aren't like here to compete with COD for sure, but like they're not going to be like a COD killer or anything. They just want to be like a throwback to the players that don't, like Big Fry said, that aren't vibing with the way Call of Duty's gone lately. So it's frustrating, because I think it could cash in on so much more potential if they made a few different decisions. But that's just my opinion. I'm an idiot on YouTube, so it doesn't really matter what I think. But that's my opinion. That's why I have a podcast, so I can talk my opinion. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, are you anything else? Or are you ready for some quick shots?
I am ready for. Yeah, I'm ready for that. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. First quick shot I wanted to talk about. So that was a little bit negative. I want to talk about something really, really positive. There is a new update out for the Road to Vostok demo. So this wasn't even supposed to happen as far as his auntie's roadmap. So this is like legit bonus content. So again, this solo developer is actually going above what he promised, and he did an update to the demo on Steam, so you guys can download the updated version of the demo on Steam and check it out. Added brand new weapon mechanics, So the arms and the animations all look way better. The recoil has been reworked. There's new water mechanics. There's snow now, so you can turn on snow. They're still working on the AI. There's a completely new looting system, and it still just looks fucking awesome, dude. Like I jumped into it and did one of my daily reload episodes on it, and it's just killing it, man. So I just wanted to let people know to go check that out and give feedback. He's really responsive to feedback too. I think you can kind of tweet that stuff out, comment on YouTube or whatever, but he reads all that stuff about your feedback. What I did was I reached out to him and said I thought it felt a little bit weird, something I should let you guys know. Two things. Once you spawn in and check out the guns and stuff and you pick them up, you have to tab and then equip them. And then when you want to put attachments on it, you hit X and it brings the gun up in like an inspect, and then you hotkey the attachments and it just switches through the attachments. So you hit 1 to do suppressor, cool. Like 4 to do a sight. And then you can also control scroll and change the rail position of your sight. Like it slides up and down the rail.
That's awesome. That's a feature I've wanted to see for a while.
Yeah, that's really cool. You can also do the left-handed shoulder. I talked a lot about that because I'm a real-life left-handed shooter, so that was really cool. That was trippy, actually, to see that on a screen because I think that was like the first time I'd ever seen that on a screen. So that was really trippy. But I just everybody should go check it out. And this game is going to probably be pretty cool because so far where we're at in the development of this, he's still looking at this fall to put out the actual demo 2. So this is like a demo 1.2, and demo 2 is going to be the first time we're going to actually see the gameplay loop where you drop in and you have different you try to get into Vostok, into the higher end places and the loot and the safe houses, and we're going to actually kind of get our first glimpse of that in the fall. And he's stuck true to everything so far, so there's no reason to not expect that to happen in the fall. So yeah, if you guys are looking for something to do, drop in and just check it out because I'm guessing he's going to leave the demo up until the next one. The last one was just stayed up. It just stays up so anyone can go check it out at any time. He had like 349,000 downloads on the first demo so far. So dude,
this game's, I'm so excited for this. I mean, he's a single developer, and what he's doing with this game is stuff we haven't seen. You don't see this stuff in AAA shooters. What we're seeing here on screen specifically, and even some of the other features he's covered here. And again, he, like you said, he's very receptive to feedback. We've talked about things people have suggested here, and he's put it in the game. So yeah, I mean,
he's a friend of the program.
Yeah, we've had him on the show. Looking forward to talking to him again down the road. But I mean, just look at, if you guys check him out on YouTube and check out, he does his developer diaries and stuff like that, and goes through a lot of the changes for a lot of the different builds and what he's working on. I mean, look at the snow, the weather. It's just, this is amazing. So after this, I'm looking forward to see what he does with this. I can't wait to get my hands on it when it's fully out there. And just, this is one of those ones. It's just going to be a lot of fun to play. And
the man's in the chat too right now.
Is he? All right. Yeah. Good to see him.
You can share feedback. You can share feedback in the chat right now. The other thing that I didn't get that made me feel really stupid was when you get into it, it's kind of set to where it's immersive because it kind of goes along with the inertia of the animations, but there's like a mouse smoothing. It feels like there's an acceleration, and me, like coming from more competitive games, I don't want that. I want raw mouse input. Yeah. And in the demo, it's set as like camera smoothing, not necessarily like aim smoothing or something. So that didn't click with me, but you can turn it off and then get back to like as like a keyboard and mouse player, like you get what you're used to feeling, and the recoil is much better. That's the other thing. Like on the screen, you can also check out the NVGs. They're equipped in the game, so you can click it to night mode, and then you can click your, I think it's on your mouse 4 button. You can turn on NVGs, and in the winter, so you can turn on. I like to go to the middle of the map, turn on blizzard, and turn on winter at night, and then hit the NVGs at night in a blizzard, and it's fucking sweet, dude. Like, there's like nothing on the map, but you like turn it to night mode, and it instantly gets like immersive and spooky, and you're just standing there. Like it's And the other thing is too,
it's
like
awesome.
you see this, I don't get why this is such an issue if Auntie can do it like in a demo by himself. The game looks awesome and it is incredibly optimized like already. So I was on my old graphics card. Granted, it was a 3090, but I had it on 1440p, everything maxed out while recording, which usually drops. So to give you some frame of reference, that was dropping like Call of Duty to around like 120 frames. This was playing at like 230 frames still and looking this good. So like it's going to be able to be ran on a lot of machines. Dude, keep an eye on it. Get in there. The helicopter thing in this video is crazy too. That's going to be so eerie when there's a helicopter flying over and you have to stay. So it's going to have a searchlight, and if you get near the searchlight, it's going to alert the AI around to where you're at. So like you kind of have to hide from the light and stuff. And yeah, just check it out. It's really cool that he comes by the scope too, and checks stuff out here on the channel. And I hope he will continue to be to have time to come talk to us as the game moves through the different stages, because it's really cool to see what's happening with this game. I've never been so excited for a single player game in my life.
Yeah, he's killing. I mean, same here. I'm pumped for this. He's doing a great job.
I just dropped ash all over my leg.
How'd that feel?
Warm.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know why? Because fire's hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you heard it here first. So anyway, guys, encourage everybody that's around. Go ahead and check out the demo. Wishlist the game. If you are wanting to support it, hit Patreon. You can go to roadtovostok.com and there's ways to support. You can get on Patreon. And on Patreon, if you support there, you actually get builds and mechanics to test that aren't even on Steam too. So you can get like some behind the scenes game files to check out and stuff and follow along on the way. So you get something out of your money too, and you're supporting this venture, which is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, Liv, Road to Vostok. Yep. Yeah. Road to Vostok.com.
Killing it.
Do it. So check out demo 1.2. That's probably not the version name, but that's what I'm calling it. But there's new stuff in there. What else did I want to talk about in the quick shots? Do you know? I had a list.
Ooh. No. Do you want me to talk about Sushi while the production team gets it?
No, production team's good.
Oh, okay.
Mousetrap. So this is something in console Rainbow Six Siege that has been catching mouse and keyboard players that have been using Zims and stuff. And to be honest with you guys, it's pretty cool because it's actually working. Where's my mouse? Don't worry, found it. I'm a pro player. Yeah. So, and you guys may have noticed like the trend with other games being able to catch these. It happens in Call of Duty where they're catching and cracking down on emulating devices. They just released this for Rainbow Six Siege, and then the people that make the Cronus or the Zim device, whatever it's called, to emulate a controller while using a mouse and keyboard that people were cheating with on console. It was really rampant in Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six on console is incredibly fun. The fun is quickly gone when you're playing on a controller with no aim assist and somebody's able to like click on your head instantly. So yeah. You can imagine how that would change the game quite a bit. But there was an example tweeted today. Oh, hopefully I can zoom in where some of you guys can read this. But essentially, there is a guy on their forums that's crying out, like they tried to update it to get around it, and it didn't work. And everybody on the Zim is complaining and crying. This guy say, even with the Zim, I in quite high elo in ranked, I only have a KD of 0.8. So for me, the Zim has always been just a way to keep up and play with my friends. So this guy is crying, and in the forum, he's justifying why he's cheating. Because I'm really bad and I need it just to keep up. Wow, I feel so bad for you.
I think they make something called Viagra for that.
I don't think that will help either.
Oh, okay.
I think he's too far gone. Thinks he needs to cheat to just play. Even still, having a 0.8 KD against controller players is laughable. Goes on to say that it essentially doesn't work. He feels like that part of I love it, dude. I can almost hear the tears. He says it now feels like that part of my life has now been taken away from me. It doesn't, the new firmware for the device doesn't feel good to me, and it's too good for Ubisoft when set to low. Either way, it's unplayable for me right now. Honestly, not sure if the Zim Matrix can change that either. The software is also used there. I'm a bit perplexed right now. I know it's just a game, but as I said in the past, it was a good way to switch off from the stressful everyday life with work and 2 children to enjoy my evening with friends. I added that part, but he's crying. So that's awesome. And essentially what's going on here is this person has said to have fun in a game, they have to cheat. And apparently this dude really isn't that busy or tired because he's posting this at 4:11 a.m. So if you're that busy and don't have time to get better at video games, go to fucking bed. And then how it's actually supposed to work, pal, is if you're not good at the game and everybody's playing to the best of their ability on an approved input device and you play ranked, you'll be playing against other people in lower ranks that aren't that good either. And you'll have fun there and it works out. That's what the rank system is. So you can play competitive matches against people against your skill level. And no one's cheating. That's how it's supposed to work, dude. So maybe he'll be forced to figure that out. But this is just incredibly exciting news to see that Ubisoft has figured this out. And I kind of wonder, like tinfoil hat, if some of this technology isn't being shared across other devices, because there's a couple other games, including Call of Duty, that are cracking down on these devices. And apparently it's working there too. There's just a lot of people on the forums, on like the Zim forums, where the little PP club goes to hang out, that are crying about it not working. And I am absolutely thrilled. I love that. So I wanted to mention that so far, the Cronus kids, the Zim kids are crying.
It's good to see, man. It's good to see.
Just soak it in for a second.
It's very good to see.
Yeah.
And as far as you saying, like, you know, ranked, all that, you can't fix stupid, Crash. So
is there a rank for that?
There could be. I mean, he won't know because he's not playing. So
True. But in a perfect world, like that's how it would work. If everyone is honestly playing ranked to the best of their ability without cheating, you're gonna get competitive matches. And I've argued that, like, even when I was new to Siege, no matter what your skill levels it is, if you're playing against similar ones, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's close. Yeah. And a lot of times, in my opinion, if I'm watching somebody stream and you'll see, like, I'll watch a good match where, you know, it went to double overtime and it's like they're copper ranked. And I'm like, oh shit, like they're way low ranked, but that was like, it's still fun to watch because it's competitive. So just play with a controller and you'll eventually get matched with people and have fun. Like that's why there's ranked.
That's a great point. I mean, that's why, because to your point, I got into Siege really late too. And yeah, I was a noob playing with people at my skill level in ranked mode, and I had a blast and I learned, and you got better because you had to play against people your skill and a little bit better and move on up. So I think that's like an analogy for life, right? And if you get fake trophies, you're going to be that guy that gets a job and lied on your resume, and then you can't do shit and you get fired and you're a loser who has no friends, no money, no job. So don't cheat because you don't get anywhere in life and you're going to be a loser. If
you cheat, you'll end up living in a cardboard box in an alley like that Nitro Loot guy that's getting caught and caught for cheating. So there you go.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother can of worms. And then the Battlefield guy, that Gemini dude or whatever, that's getting caught cheating from Silk, like, there's some cheaters going down right now, and it's
good to see, man.
It's good.
It's good to
really
see.
Good.
Now, if only Raven could get their anti-cheat together and take care of some of the ones in the Call of Duty era there, that'd be good. But
what if I told you?
Hold our breath for that.
What if I told you and I'm using quotes, the quote unquote pay to win skins were Raven's idea? Would that mean I won the argument? Would you get mad and then say I'm right? That they're bad? If it's Raven's idea?
No, because
that'd be a dirty tactic.
if it were their idea, maybe they should try applying it to their own games. Would be my response.
I'd be playing your emotions.
Yeah, you would be.
All right, let's talk a little bit about quickly Dead Island 2. So I got a couple things to pull up here. I'm not gonna play this for copyright reasons, but just so you guys should be aware, if like you're really excited, it's supposed to release in 4 days, so I don't know if this is worth checking out. But 30 minutes of Dead Island 2 gameplay footage has been leaked. So you guys, if you're really into it and can't wait, you guys can go check it out. I like zombie shooters sometimes, so I'll probably try to catch this game on sale. I'm not fired up enough about it to pay $60 for it. But it looks like it could be pretty fun. 30 minutes of gameplay features the beginning of the game where you're introduced to the characters. There was also 11 minutes that was dropped officially. This is just a little bit more of the story. So you can go over to Insider-Gaming, like Tom Henderson's website, and find some of that stuff. There also was the launch trailer was also released. So I'll see if I can pull that up. That's something that I feel like is okay to watch. But yeah, Dead Island 2 comes out in 4 days. Like what day does that make it?
That makes it Friday?
Is that Friday?
If we're counting it, yeah.
But dude, this game, I feel like people have been waiting on this game for an eternity. Like, been talking about Dead Island 2
I thought
forever.
it was out. I thought it was out already, man. I was watching. I remember when did the first one come out? Because the Dead Island theme, I was like listening to religiously, like the trailer music for Dead Island, the original Dead Island, I think it was. Like beautiful, beautiful trailer music. Listen to that like back in 2013 or end of 2012 or something. It's just, how long has this game been in development? I thought it was out. So
long time. I think I just saw on YouTube like the first trailer was something like 2014 or something. Like it's been a long ass time. It's been delayed so many times.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dude, it's been it's like 2014 was a trailer that I saw for the first. It's been a long time. So it's definitely noteworthy in the shooter space when a game that's been waited on this long is set to come out. Let's hope it's not a Cyberpunk at launch or No Man's Sky or something like that. Hopefully it's playable, but it looks pretty crazy. I think this is a game though, like I don't think this would have a ton of replayability for me. So I think this is something that I'll probably watch some streams of and then try to pick it up on sale at some point, like down the road. But I have a special place in my heart for zombie games. I loved Left 4 Dead 2. Played so much of that game in college.
Me too. With mods. We played it with mods and the Helm's Deep map. Epic. Yeah,
it's cool. So no, just wanted to let you know this, guys. This is coming out. There are some leaks. If you can't wait, we'll on this program, you're smart people. We'll give you the option to check it out or not. not gonna show it to you, but that's out.
You guys can GFGI it, which is go. This is what my college professors used to say. We'd ask a question, they'd say GFGI. What does that mean? Go effing Google it.
Yep. I had a couple of friends like that would like ask questions that are like clearly Googleable, and they would text me like, "Where's this at?" And it's like, dude, you typed it in the wrong space. Type it in Google.
This isn't the Google search box. You messed up.
Wrong text box, dude.
Yeah, try again.
The next one really quickly is Boundary has released a few days ago. So if you guys are interested in that game, you can check it out. Boundary is a unique first-person shooter that takes place in space. I played it a little bit and I couldn't get into it, man. Some people really like it because it is unique, so I gotta give them that. I always give props on unique FPS games because we definitely always need more of those.
Yep.
But man, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like getting the flow of the maps figured out and just the randomness of getting shot from like 3D space anywhere instead of just like 2D space or a couple levels. I couldn't do it, man. Like I couldn't handle it. So, but it's out there. I feel like I could get it figured out with time. But for those of you that want something new, unique, that game is out and you can check it out if you want to.
Yeah, the game looks, I know we talked about it a little bit last week. Definitely, it's unique, which I think is a good thing. I haven't played it, so I can't comment, but it does look cool.
I think so too. That's where I'm at. You don't need to play it, but you could. The last quick. This is a really quick shot.
Really quick shot.
Yeah. Oh shit. I'm so dumb. I can't remember what his title was. The main guy for Halo. I think he was like creative director or whatever for Halo. He left 343 a couple weeks ago, and now announced that he's been hired over at Netflix Games. So he is, Joseph Staten, former Halo creative lead, joins Netflix to help create an original game. So you guys might recognize this game. I guess everything's on Insider Gaming, so I could just pull it up here. But the guy that was big into Halo Infinite left there and is joining Netflix. He said to create a multi-platform game. That would make me think shooter, to play, like a cross-play shooter. So maybe Netflix is getting into the shooter space. This is this is one of those stories. That's why it's a quick shot. There's not much to say here because we have literally zero information on what he's going to be working on. So that's that. Oh, and then one more thing. There are some leaks about the new. I saw it on here. I looked at it earlier. The new Apex Legends season, Apex Legends season 17 event skins have been leaked. The YouTuber Thornton Smash, you can look him up. You can find his article on Insider Gaming. But he got leaked information that they did confirm over at Insider Gaming, and he did some sketches of like the new operator and some of the new stuff that you can see that's going to be coming to the game in season 17. So just Apex Legends keeps being a free-to-play juggernaut that a lot of people are copying, apparently. And I am selfishly and maliciously rooting for it to fail because I want to see Titanfall 3. So I hate Apex Legends because it killed Titanfall 3. I want to see a Titanfall 3 with a ranked mode.
Hell yeah.
Gimme.
I think a lot of people would. And
by the time there is going to be a new Titanfall, I'm going to be way too fucking old to play on that movement. So that's what's up. I think that's all I had. I think.
Beautiful.
We got through a lot of info.
Yeah, we did indeed.
Redbeard, we did not kill Blue. He could not make it tonight. So he will.
Did we kill Blue? Is that what he asked?
Yeah. Did you all kill him? No, not yet. We haven't yet. He was busy tonight. The show must go on. So here we are. Hopefully he'll be back next week. I really hope so. We had a big talk on Caliber. So I think I would have a little bit of time for Q&A, like just a couple.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do a few too. And I want to pick up on, I think Teddy had a question earlier on. I think it was like, do we think Tarkov is a realistic game or shooter? I think was the question. Am I right?
Yeah,
that was basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what it needs to be better.
My opinion on that. I mean, realism to a degree. Is it more realistic than majority of shooters out there? Yeah. Is it a realistic game? No, because I mean, you can take some pain pills and apply a tourniquet to like 6 gunshot wounds and you're good to go usually. But I think it's more realistic. What can it do better? I'm not going to comment on that because I don't play it anymore. I did play it a lot heavily back in like 2019, 2020, early 21. But I think there's like a fine line there between realism and like a fun factor with playing the game. So they just need to kind of walk that line and not go too far beyond where I think the realistic components of the game I think are there. I can't really think of anything else I'd want to see done that much crazy. They added momentum, all that stuff. What are your thoughts, Chris? You've played it more recently than me, so.
Yeah. How I would characterize it, this is such a cop-out answer, but if you go back to last week's episode, when we talked about what they said in the podcast, if they follow through with that and can actually deliver on what Nikita said in that podcast, there is a lot of good stuff in there. And essentially the game will be in a really good state if they can pull it off. What's keeping me from playing it right now is like netcode desync issues, cheater problems, and the quest lines being the same as they have been for the last however many wipes. I can't go get that fucking pocket watch again, dude. I've done it so many times. Like,
yeah, man, I hate redoing them.
I can't get into the quest lines because some of them that I got to are so hard to do, and I just can't. I can't get through it again, like mentally, like. So I'm kind of waiting for those to change up, but there's a lot of good stuff allegedly coming with optimization, netcode, a bunch of changes there. I'm looking forward to Arena. That could be really fun, and they're supposed to have better server performance there, so we're gonna check that out. But essentially, a lot of the stuff Nikita says that they're working on is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was a cop-out answer. We actually went pretty in-depth into all that last week's episode. So, I mean, yeah, everything that they said sounds awesome. So just a matter if they can deliver good quality with all of that, right?
Yep. And then Teamer in my chat was asking about, or was mentioning Bohemia Interactive. They actually announced an FPS game, the makers of Arma, and it's probably not what you expect. It's called Silica, a real-time strategy FPS game, and it looks like Destiny Halo. So this is the next game that Bohemia Interactive is working on the screen here. So that might throw you for a little curveball, but I remember seeing that, and I didn't necessarily know to talk about it. It still could be a good game, but it's not like in the Arma line. Okay, you already knew about it? Yeah. I actually meant to talk about this last week, but I forgot about it. So that's what...
Red?
Yeah.
I was just gonna go ahead and finish up. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I was gonna say. They're working on a new game. I don't know a lot about it, but the announcement trailer's out. It looks cool, but if you're into that, like it looks Destiny like.
Yeah, definitely get those vibes. Redbeard had a good question here. Caliber just hit mostly positive reviews on Steam and a player base of roughly 5K. Do you think this shows a larger studio as a third-person shooter is more marketable? Or still marketable? Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, the game itself, like we talked about in the segment for it, it's definitely appealing to a specific niche. I think with like the milsim skins and everything like that, and the third person gameplay modes. But again, I mean, like let's not pretend SOCOM wasn't extremely popular in some of the other third person games that are out there. So I think if especially this is just a free to play from a smaller indie type studio, it should set an example for what a AAA studio who actually took a third person game seriously should be able to blow this out of the water.
Yep. Yeah, I think it does, and I think Buff had a good point. We talked about Caliber quite a bit in the first half of the show. I think it's their niche, right? Like if you had asked me my personal favorite game ever, it would probably be a first person version of Caliber. Like not just adding first person to Caliber, because the game has to be designed like map design, mechanics, and AD, like all that stuff around first person. But I love the cosmetics, I love the game mode, I love the setting, the vibe, like everything about it. I just prefer first person, but it's opened my eyes to the viability of third person. Like playing it that first night for a few hours, I started to learn the tactics and like how to play third person, and use those to my advantage. And there's something there, and it's opened my eyes to the viability of third person. So I would assume everybody else too. Yeah,
I think it's all. I would argue. I think third person's always been viable. It's just a matter of a studio or a game delivering on the bar that SOCOM set.
Yeah,
coming close to that bar. I think SOCOM set such a high bar, and then after that, like third person games had just fallen off for whatever reason because nothing can really live up to what SOCOM was in its heyday. So.
Right.
I think that's really. I think everyone wants a new SOCOM, right? So can a game like Caliber come in and offer something equally as good, or can a AAA studio come in and do something better?
Boston Gamer asks, "How is Little Crash doing? Hope you're getting some sleep." Getting a little bit of sleep. And he's doing awesome. Like he's doing really good. We get the Got the 2-month checkup on the 19th, so 2 days from now, the 2-month checkup.
Awesome.
And it's going well. Yeah, I am tired because on top of having a new kid, I also committed to doing daily FPS news videos to go ahead and run my channel the rest of the way into the ground. So yeah, I'm tired, but we're doing it. We're doing it live. So. Yep.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, guys, I think that's probably a program. Appreciate you asking Boston about the little man. It's cool. It's cool. I'm excited to watch him grow up. It's pretty neat. He also is growing a little bit too fast. Within 2 months, he's like noticeably a larger child, and that's weird. Like, growing really fast. So
it's gonna be a large human in a couple of years, probably.
Might be. It'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming they're gonna measure him and stuff.
Yeah,
and see what's up with that.
They should. Nice.
I'm hoping to convince my buddy Ham Redbeard to play Caliber tonight here in about an hour over on Twitch. So if you guys are interested in seeing some more of that, twitch.tv/crash8, probably be live over there, checking out some Caliber, playing a little bit more of it. It's pretty neat. Yeah, and again, everybody, thank you guys so much for meeting us here. Like I said, like we say every week, if you want to support the program, just share it around with people. Bring somebody back with you next week. You know, we always say, be a friend, tell a friend. And that's about it. We had, like I said, last week was like the largest, like almost 80 downloads on the audio version, which blew my mind. Appreciate that so much. Thanks for sharing it around. If you're listening to it, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Means a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate it for sure.
Excited to see everybody next week. Maybe Buff will be back.
Maybe.
Not Buff, Blue. We just talked about no sleep. There's a prime example. Boom. There you go.
I was like, yeah, I was planning on it, unless you don't want me to.
I'd like to be back, man. Is that okay? So yeah. Yep.
Trying to tell me something here, Crash?
So nope. I'm not telling anybody anything. So all right. Guys have an awesome week. Again, I'm still gonna do my best to have daily news videos on this channel here. If you're watching on my YouTube channel. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. We'd love to have you there. Other than that, we will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good week.